Welcome to Women's Wealth. I'm your host, Chella Diaz, and today I am so delighted to be coming to you live. This is my first of many, many live shows, and I'm especially grateful to be here with you today. So if you're just tuning in, welcome. If you're one of our repeat listeners, we appreciate you and we thank you. So today we're going to be talking. This has taken me years and years of research. So I hope you're ready. We're going to have lots of fun. We're going to talk about how you can get your money journey map in order. It's the year is almost over, and I want you to ask yourself, what have you accomplished? And most importantly, what do you want to accomplish next year? So I am so delighted. The first half of the show is going to be technical. This is the stuff that you can learn pretty much anywhere, but is going to have my very own special Chella twist to it. And then the second half of the show, we're going to talk about those obstacles they're going to get in the way. So stay tuned. We're going to have lots of fun. Today, I am going to share with you the 5 easy steps that you need to do to get your money journey map together. I know that sounds complicated. If you follow these 5 easy steps, you will be on your way to setting and accomplishing whatever financial goals you have. So, as I mentioned, why should you listen to me? I did underwriting for over 20 years. And I got to see how the rich save their money and how the poor spend their money. And on a much personal note, I have been good with money since I was 9 years old. I could go to the farmer's market and I knew who had the best quality at the lowest price. I bought my car when I was 17 and shortly thereafter, my first home. I believe that it does not matter how much money you make. What counts is how much money you keep. My mom was a homemaker and my dad was a baker. I've published 2 books. One of them is Money Bootcamp Financial Literacy. And the other one, I wrote a chapter where the name of my chapter is Money Tips from the Baker's Daughter. And again, most of the information that I have, and I've been doing workshops throughout to high school students, college students, and women's groups. And I always learn something new every time I go into the classroom. I just did 3 classrooms, attended and did 3 workshops last week. So some of the information and some of the things that I learned from them, it's always good for me to learn new stuff. So let's get to the. So I believe that that's one of the reasons why you should you should listen to me. No matter who you're going to go out and you're going to work with, I think you should always find out, have they done what you want to accomplish? Have they been able to, because you can't teach you. They cannot teach you how to do something if they haven't done it themselves. So if you're going to go out and work with a financial planner, if you're going to go with a coach, always find out, have they accomplished what you've wanted to do? So let's talk about what is it what is the first thing that you need to do? Well, the first thing you need to do is you need to find out where you are. So we need to take a money inventory. And the easiest and best way to get this done is to keep track of how you spend your money. Anytime you spend over $1, you write it down. At the end of 7 days, you take that list and you divide it into 2 columns. The first column, you put all of the money that you spend on needs, and the second column is all of the money that you spend on wants. That's it. Step 1, keep track of where your money is going. This is truly where the magic happens. I'll share 2 quick stories. One of my clients, just by doing this, she found out that she was spending $600 in going out to dinner, or lunches actually, lunches and dinners. And she decided that after that, she was still going to go out and eat. However, she was going to cut back. So she is now putting away $500 towards the down payment on the house, and she still goes out to eat and spends $100. Because I believe it's all about cutting back. You can never, ever, in my opinion, just go cold turkey. It just doesn't work. You got to be able to have go out there and have some fun. One of my other clients, simply she made two minor changes. She started brewing her coffee at home, and she only went out to lunch on paydays. That's it. That's the only change she made, two minor changes. And she was able to pay off three credit cards, and she's now putting some money away into her possibility buckets. Why is that important? Her testimonial to me was is not just that she has no credit card debt, but she also has a lot of less stress in her life. The stress, she doesn't have to worry about how she's going to make her monthly obligations because there is no credit card debt. And she's saving for her possibility bucket. So, what does a possibility bucket look like? That is just what it sounds like. It's a possibility. What are you going to save towards? And everybody's going to be different. Are you going to save for a new computer? Are you going to save for a new washer and dryer? Are you going to save for a vacation? Are you going to put this possibility for a wealthy tomorrow? Meaning the long term. Are you going to put it away for a down payment on a house? Are you going to buy a rental property? The possibility bucket is just that. What are all of the possibilities? What can you do? The fun thing about that is that you can have three, five different accounts in the same under the possibility bucket. So you could have one where you're saving towards the holiday shopping. This used to be very popular, and not to date myself here, but it used to be very common for banks and credit unions to offer a holiday account, meaning that you put in money into this account and you could only take it out for the holidays. Those accounts are not as popular anymore. However, it does not mean that you cannot open one. So, whatever that purpose of that account is, let's say it is the holiday shopping. You build up your holiday shopping so that when that occasion comes up, you're already ahead of the game. You already have your money in the account. Let's say that you want to buy a new washer and dryer. So you put all of the money into that for that purpose, for you to get your washer and dryer. So what you want to accomplish is not as important as getting yourself into the habit of doing that. One of the things that the wealthy do is that they pay themselves first. And you're going to hear me say that again and again because let's say they get $100 for whatever reason. It's a bonus, it's money they were not anticipating. Majority of the times, they're going to take that $100 and they're going to put a portion of that into the possibility bucket. And that's what I would like for you to start doing. Start thinking when you get that money in that you were not anticipating, can you put a portion of that into a possibility bucket? Different experts are going to tell you that you should do the 10%, that you should do the 5%. I say start where you are today. If all you can do put away is $5, then put away $5. But be consistent with that amount. Meaning, my favorite, what if you go out and you get a bonus or you make overtime? What if you take that additional income, which is not part of your normal regular paycheck, and you take almost half of that, whatever the net income comes in, you take half of that and you put it into your possibility bucket. Start thinking about what can you do, what goals do you want to accomplish, what financial goals you want to accomplish, and how are you going to get there. So step one, you're keeping track of how you're spending your money. At the end of the week, you divide it into two lists. And we're going to do that for 4 weeks. What's magical about doing this for 4 weeks is that you're going to get just truly a good idea of when do you spend money. So you want to keep track of, let's say Wednesdays, is or Thursdays. Thursdays actually is even better day because I know for me, Thursdays and Fridays, I used to, when I had a corporate job, that's the day we went out for drinks. So when are you spending money? That was the happy hours, let me tell you. So when are you spending money? Are you spending money on weekends? Are you spending money on Saturdays? When is that time? Why is that important? Because if you know when you're spending money, then in the second portion of the show, I'm going to give you tools to help you so that those temptations are not as strong. So you're keeping track of your money and you divide it into the two lists, and that's going to show you what your spending pattern is. We're not going to use the B word in this show. We're not going to use the budget word. We don't believe in the B word. So we're going to call it a spending plan because the spending plan is just that, it's a way for you to spend your money. Step two. So you got that, you're good to go. Let me tell you, folks, just by doing this one step, you're going to find out where your money is going. And that's going to be magic. So I mentioned one of my clients, was spending $600 and going out to lunch. Let me tell you, she knew she was spending money going out to lunch, obviously, because she went to the bank and she got the money or she paid with her card. But until she put it in writing and actually kept track of it, she was shocked to see that she was actually spending $600. So, she had an idea, but she had no idea it was $600. Or that just by brewing your own coffee and going out to lunch on payday instead of every Friday, my other client was able to pay off credit cards. So there's true magic by doing this for 4 weeks. Because during this 4 weeks, what you're also going to find is part of that is the things like rent, what I call the necessities, your rent, your phone bill, your utility bills, groceries, putting gas in the car, insurance. All those things are going to show up. So at the end of the week, you're going to start making the list. So what's going to be marvelous here is that at the end of 4 weeks, you're going to have what I call my 3 bucket system. Your needs, your rent, your phone bills, your utilities, your wants. How much money did you spend on going out to dinner? Did you go to the movies? Did you go to a concert? When are you spending your money? Is it on Thursday nights for happy hours like I used to? Is it on sale items? So let me take a quick side note. So sale items, I have two weaknesses. One, finding things on sale, because if they're a great deal, even if it's not for me, I used to get it, and then I would give it to somebody. I'm getting better on that. I'm a work in progress, but I'm getting better and better on that. And then two, personal development courses. And I'm very happy to report it's been 11 months and I have not purchased a personal development course. I'm hoping to make 1 year and possibly I may go for 16, 18 months. Uh, but, but, but I like to take it 1 quarter of a time. So I'm going to finish the 12 months and then after that, go for an additional 3 months and see how that works for me. Going there for 2 years, I got to tell you, that seems like an awfully long commitment for me. So going for 2 years right off the bat is not going to work for me. So, but it may work for you. I don't know. I like to do it in baby steps. I started with 3 months and 6 months, and now I'm at 10 months. After my year, I'll see if I can do, 15 months and see how that goes after that. But now you know. Now you know how much you need a month. What does that look like for you? So let's take a case. Let's say that you need $1,500 for your necessities. And let's say that you're bringing in, 2,500. that means that your spendable income is $1,000. What are you choosing to do is what we're going to talk about next. So that would be your needs bucket is $1,500 and your wants bucket is going to be $1,000. So how much of that money from your wants bucket are you going to put into your possibility buckets? And something truly, I know I keep saying magical, it's my favorite word for today, but it really does. And I get this from my clients after I see them and what they're able to accomplish simply by doing this, simply by keeping track of where their money is going and then choosing to do something differently. Now, I'm not saying for instance, the client that used to go out to lunch. She didn't have to give up going out to lunch. She just had to cut back. So I invite you, what is that one thing that you know you do? Let's be honest with ourselves, folks. Right now, it's a coffee, right? And you can spend up to $5 to go get one of those fancy coffees. So what if, and I especially encounter this a lot at the high school and college, because they see that as a necessity. They see that as we have to have a coffee every day, otherwise we can't survive. And even I said, okay, what if instead of spending $25 for coffee, what if you cut it back and you spend $15? You still go out 3 times a week, but that $10 you start putting away towards something else. Now, once you're able to save that $10, we're just talking $10, folks. Who out there can work with me and just start saving $10 a week? It is very important that you put that money in a safe place. And that could be a envelope at your house. It could be a sandwich bag. It could be, your piggy bank. But it cannot be part. You have to separate that money. You have to put it towards something else. Also, I'm going to recommend that you have two different banks, two different credit unions. I highly recommend credit unions. So if you're not currently using a credit union, highly, highly recommend them. It's much easier. And I just did a class last week. It used to be that you needed to be in a fire department or the police department. You had to be a teacher in order to belong to a credit union. Credit unions have now merged together and they have made it easier for you to join a credit union. So the way you can join a credit union now is if a credit union is near where you live, it's near where you work, it's near where you worship, or it's near where you go to school. So if there's an area, let's say I'll use El Segundo. Let's say you work in El Segundo. If there's a credit union, and I do happen to know there's a couple of credit unions in El Segundo. If there's a credit union near where you work, you're able to join that credit union. It's as simple as that. So let's say you have a regular bank and then you have a credit union. One of the reasons is it's almost like you're hiding your money from yourself. Because if you see the money, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for you to get your money out. And that's one of the reasons. So I have two amazing sons, and they had a checking account and a savings account. Unfortunately, both of those accounts were with the same bank. So when they went to check the balance, both of the accounts show up on their account, right? So it was very easy for them to transfer. And let's say the checking account was low and they were hungry and they wanted to go out to eat. They were just able to transfer that money from their savings account into their checking account. By having a different account, then you wouldn't be able to access the money quickly. You can still go to an ATM, you can still get your money, but it's not just as quickly for you to transfer it from one account to another account. So highly recommend your possibility bucket. Have those accounts with in a different account, whether it's the same bank, with your bank, it's a credit union, have it somewhere else so that you can just not transfer it so quickly. Highly, highly recommend it. If you just tuned in, I welcome you. We're talking about setting your money journey map. This is it, folks. 5 easy steps to get you started to accomplish whatever financial goals you want to accomplish. It doesn't matter where you are now, because with my 5 easy steps today, you're going to build your foundation. Once you have that foundation, just think of it as building a house. When you have that solid foundation, it's going to be easier for you to build around that. So, step number one, keeping track of how you're spending your money. Anytime you spend over $1, you write it down. Step number two, you take that amount and you divide it into two lists. How much money did you spend on wants? How much money did you spend on needs? Now that you know what money you need, and I'll go back to the example of your need $1,500, and that includes all the necessities, and then you're bringing in $2,500. How are you choosing to spend that $1,000 is where we're going to talk a little bit about. What if you start putting some of that money away into your possibility bucket? Even $100. Start where you are now, and also start where it cannot be painful, folks. Because what happens when we have to go clean our room because our parents told us to? We're not going to do it. Well, we will, but we're not going to like it. So start where you are now. Is it $100? Is it $50? What is that amount that you can start putting away? Let's take one drastic case. Let's say that your needs is $1,500 and your money that's coming in is only $1,800. So that means that you have $300 to cover all of your wants and also your possibility bucket. If that's the case, I invite you to start looking now more than ever. It is so easy for you to go out and make additional money. Is there something that you can sell? Is there an eBay? Something you can sell on eBay? Can you go out and get a part-time job? Now more than ever, you can do work with Uber. You can call it your own shots. You can do it. You can work whenever you want. So it doesn't matter. Let's say that you have a job where you have to be at the work from 9 to 6. Great. Do you have evenings? Can you work 2 hours in the evenings? Can you work on weekends? Now, I'm not talking about you working 24/7. You do it and plan it. Be strategic about this. Find out how much money you need so that you are able to pay off your credit cards, or how much money do you want to have in that possibility bucket, and then work from there. When I was 10 years old, my dad had 2 full-time jobs. Now, at the time, it seemed like he had those 2 full-time jobs for years. Looking back, it was only about 6 months. He, in one of the paychecks, of course, he had already been taking care of all the expenses for the house. But his second job, which actually was a night job, he took that entire paycheck. He did not touch it. He opened up that possibility account and he deposited the whole paycheck. At the end of 6 months, now I know this was a while back, but at the end of the 6 months, he had a down payment for a house. So I invite you to think about, what is it that you want to accomplish? How much money you need? Because in order for you to know, you have to know where your starting point. What's your starting point, and how much money do you need to get there? Now, let's be real with ourselves, folks. Let's say that you have a credit card debt, and that credit card debt is $5,000. Well, we can't really expect for that to be gone in 90 days. That would not be realistic. If you haven't been able to get in, have been carrying that for a couple of years, be real with yourself. what is it really going to take? And where can you make other money options? Where can you make other money choices? So I go back to me. I'm a really good example, folks. Sales. So I told you that sales happens to be one of my weaknesses. I'm getting better and better. Now I do sometimes do use the cool off period, right? Whenever you buy a car or whenever you buy a house, they have to give you, they give you, they don't have to, they give you 72 hours to change your mind. Do the same. If shopping, whether it's shoes or whether it's clothes, whatever your weakness is, give yourself that 72-hour cool off period. Let's say that you buy the item. And I actually was talking to a friend, and she went out and she got this great dress, and she took a picture of it and she sent it to her mom, and the mom thought it was a great idea. She bought the dress. She took it home, and it was a great dress. She thought she could use it. Holidays are coming up. But after she had it for 2 days, she decided that that was not a really good purchase for her, and she took it back. So I'm not good at taking returning things. I'm working on that. I'm working on that. But what if you have to ask yourself, how is this purchase going to get me closer to my financial goal? And then there's going to be times where you're going to keep the item, but there's going to be times that it's okay to take that item back if you're able to return it. Use a cool off period prior to purchasing, but if you did make the purchase, it's not too late, folks. You can return it and get your money back. Start thinking, start asking yourself, how is purchasing whatever it is, okay, for me, personal development courses, how is that going to get me closer to my financial goals? Or how is me purchasing something that's on sale that's not even for me, that I'm going to give to somebody else? How is that getting me closer to my financial goals? So I invite you to think about, what is that thing for you? What did that look like? Now, let's talk about, so you have your needs bucket. And I like to think of my money as in buckets, right? Because can you imagine? Just imagine having a bucket full of money. Some people use the envelope system. I have seen that. I used to volunteer for the American Cancer Society, and we used to have ladies coming in, and they had envelopes, and you could tell that this envelope was for groceries, and this envelope was for eating out, and this envelope was for shopping. Whatever works for you, use whatever system is going to work best for you. If for my younger folks out there that don't use cash, that you use your ATM or your credit card to make all the purchases, I invite you to make a minor shift on that. And I recently learned this from one of my friends. She uses everything, but she takes out $100 at the beginning of the week, and that's what she's going to use to make the purchases. And what she found, and she does take out the $100 bill. And what she found was that she did not want to break that $100 bill. So that was a way for her to really ask that question. Do I really want to go and buy $5.45 and break that $100 bill? Because let's face it, folks, we all know what happens when you break that $100 bill. Then you get the 20s and then the 10s and the 5s, and then it's gone. So ask yourself, do I really want to buy that cup of coffee? And this system really worked well for her versus just having the ATM or the credit card and just doing the swipe thing. So if you're not currently using cash, give it a chance. Go take this for a test drive. Do it for 4 weeks and see how that works for you. See how much money you're able to save. Right? Because if you have $100 bill, are you really going to go out and buy a pack of gum with that? If for her, and again, this also works for me, because you think about it, do I really want to get that purchase? So it's just another tool. If there's other tools that you have, I would love to hear from you. You can reach me at moneymap moneymap101 at gmail.com. Moneymap101 at gmail.com. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Chella Diaz Money. Reach out to me. I'm always wanting to learn what system are you currently using, what's working for you, so that when I go out and do workshops, I'm able to share that with you, with others. So now we have, so what are you going to do? What are you going to do to pay off that credit card, to build up a possibility bucket? eBay is an option if you have things you can sell. Uber is a great option. Lyft is a great option. You know, there's so many different options out there for you to do make extra money. You can work at a restaurant, you can work in the kitchen part time. You can have a garage sale. If there are things that you no longer using, if eBay is not an option, what if you have a garage sale? What if you get two or three of your friends and you guys have a neighborhood garage sale? You know, again, this is items that you can go out and you can sell, but always have a purpose. What are you going to do with that money? You know, what is it that you want to accomplish? Because if you don't have an idea of what you're going to do with that money, it's going to disappear. So always have an idea of what you're going to do with that money. Now you know what how you're spending your money. You know how much you need. You know how much you want, because you always got to treat yourself. But under that, I invite you. I'm going to give you one of my favorite tips. I get my movies and some of my books and most of my music from the library. Personally, I still like to go in and get the stuff. Oh my heavens, you can get it now. You can download it. You guys are so lucky. You don't have to drive to the library. You can download it. So that would be a good way for you to save some money. You know, even if it's the $10 on Netflix that you're currently paying, can you borrow the movies from the library? That's $120 extra a month that you're going to be saving. Food for thought. And I know this is not going to be very popular because this is where people tend to disagree with me. But can you change your cable system? Or is even cable necessary? I know. Especially, trust me, I have two sons, and one of them is really into sports. So he did not like when I share this with him. But what if you go instead of paying, you know, the $240 for cable? What if you go to the basic and you cut that bill in half, right? Find ways, and it could be, you know, I've had this with a client, and cutting cable was not an option for them, which is great. You know what I mean? You have to know what you are willing to give up or cut back on. If cable is not it, you know, shop around. Is there another company that might be able to give you a better deal? Now you can get so many different options. I'm going to say, you know, in Netflix, I know it's only $10, but what if you go switch to Amazon Prime? They also have the ability for you to watch movies, get the videos, get the music, and you get free shipping. Also recommend you do that. Again, options. Start looking of where can you cut back, where can you save money, but most importantly, what are you going to do that with that money? So I go back to my coffee and my students. So they're saving $10 a week now because they're cut back on only going to coffee 3 times a week versus 5 times. They keep that money in an envelope, and let's say they make it to $100. Then they either go deposit it into a bank if that's going to go towards your possibility bucket, or you go pay down that credit card balance. You have to accumulate that balance until you're able to do that. So my folks out there that are not going to use the cash option, at the end of the week, I would recommend if you, or the end of 2 weeks, you save the $10, $20. you immediately make that payment. Don't let that money sit. Use it for the purpose that you intended right away or within a couple of weeks. So that way it's fresh on your mind and you're being proactive and you're using that money for the purpose it was intended. Trust me, once those balances start going down, it's going to be very easy for you to stay on top. The other thing I would say is find two or three people that are are going to be your support system. Build your community. Build your accountability partners. I have two of those, because I do have my weaknesses. So I recommend you do that. Have people around you that have similar goals to yours. So when I want to go purchase personal development courses, I get on the phone with my friend and I justify why I want to make that purchase. She listens. There's no judgment. She just listens to what I have to say. And then she'll simply ask, how is making this purchase getting you closer to your financial goal, Chella? Most of the time, I don't end up purchasing, but there have been some times where, you know, I felt that this program thing was really what I needed to do at that time. Looking back, probably not, but it's something you have to go through yourself. So build a support system. Get people around you that are going to be there to cheer you on your good days and support you on your bad days. And that's the other part. We're all going to have bad days, folks. It's how you choose to manage those bad days that's really important. So, the next thing we're going to talk about, yes, we're going to talk about some of the obstacles that are going to come, and they're going to, I call it the shiny objects. Shiny objects that are going to prevent you from sticking to your goals. So, you have your needs bucket, you have your wants bucket, and you know what you want to accomplish, right? You know what you want to accomplish. You know that you're going to go start get a part time job, and you know that you need to have that part time job for 6 months because you knew that based on how much money you're going to bring in, that's what it's going to take for you to accomplish your goal. Great. Now, this is where the shiny objects begin to show up. Things like you're going to need new tires for your car. So that's an expense you were not really anticipating. You're going to need maintenance, and this time your car is also going to need brakes. Those are things. Okay. You drop your phone, and these are all true stories from folks that have happened. So I'm not making this up. You can't make this up. You break your phone. Now I know several people that have done this. So you break your phone and you need to replace it. Now, folks, I know this is not going to be popular, but do you really need to replace it with the latest? Do you really need to pay $600 for that phone? Or for now, until you're able to accomplish your financial goals, can you do it with just getting the basic phone? Something, yes, you have to have the camera, whatever that looks like for you, right? But make it so that you're not spending $600. And unfortunately, that is a true story of somebody I recently came across. They had to have the $600 phone. So I ask you, what about some of the other things of friends want to go out? Friends want to go out to dinner. They want to go out and party. They want to go out. All these additional things that they want to do that you don't have the money and you know that by doing this is going to keep you off track. This is why having the support system is going to help. It's not that you can never ever go out and have fun, folks. But what if you start creating options, possibilities? What if you have a gathering at your home and you make it into a potluck? Do you really need to go to a club and spend $15 on that glass of wine? Do you really need to go to the club and spend, I know this was shocking, $25 for a drink, I couldn't believe it. I know it's been a while since I was out. But can you do something else instead, folks? That's all I'm asking. Is there something else that you could be doing so that you're still hanging out with your friends, but you're just not spending as much money? If it's out to dinner, if it's going to be the dinner and the movie and then the nightclub, can you skip the dinner part, go somewhere else, eat at home, and just meet them from the movie and so far? I often do that. I mean, and that's one good way for you to save some money. So I invite you to think, what else could you be doing? And these things, let's have a system in place because these things are going to show up no matter what. Let's have a system in place. If you are just tuning in, I welcome you. Today, we are talking about how you can set up your money journey map so that you can accomplish your financial goals, whatever that may look like for you. This is where we're building the foundation. Once you have the foundation, you can accomplish anything you want. Because once you learn how to manage $50, you can manage $500, you can manage $5,000, you can manage $1 million. The rules are the same. So start where you are, but you need to know where you are now. What is your starting point? Let's say we're going to go to Vegas. We're going to get in the car. We're going to get lots of snacks, but we don't even know where we're going to go. We don't know where we're going to stay, and we have no idea how we're going to get there. Same thing with your money. This is for you to set your money journey map. We need to have a plan, folks. You're going to write down your goals, whatever that may look like for you. And I recommend you put those goals somewhere where you can see them at least twice a day. I usually have them on my computer. I also carry them on my phone. And I have them in my bathroom mirror so that when I'm brushing my teeth, I'm looking at them. That helps me when I come across those sale items because it's fresh in my mind. Oh, yes, these are my financial goals. Yes, this is what I want to do. Phone is also a good reminder because then I'm able to go if I'm out and there's this deal that is 75% off and I just can't pass up. I have them on my phone because that's a reminder. Do I really want this? Do I need it? And is this going to help me get closer to my goal? So highly recommend, write them down. That is the best. That's what the wealthy do, folks. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. Learn from the people that have done that. Another thing I recommend is check a couple of books. You know what I mean? Find out what your, again, we talked a little bit about where you're spending, right? For me, the happy hours, the items, the happy hours. And yeah, it's been a long time, folks. Unfortunately, I can't drink right now. However, I still remember them, right? It's embarrassing now to tell you how much money I used to spend on happy hours. Um, it was a lot. Anywhere from $80 to $300 when I went for happy hours. Yeah, I was a drinker, right? Looking back, yes, probably that was not the best use of my money, but at the time, you know, and I was younger, and so for me that was what I wanted to do at the time. I would not do that today. One, because now I have a better idea of what I want to do with money, how I want to invest that money. So I invite you. What are you currently doing that you want to change? Have you accomplished all of your financial goals? Are you saving for a wealthy life? What does that bucket look like for you? And be prepared. Build your support system. Have people around you that are going to support you. Have people around you. And what's really neat about that, by having people, is that you are able to share ways to save money. This is the fun part, folks. Once you become aware and once you know that this is your financial goal, whatever that looks like for you. Be open because all of these possibilities are going to start showing up. I am a money saving queen. Oh, I just gave myself a name. Sales show up for me everywhere I go. I have friends, friends and my kids. They call me up. They're at the store. They're going to purchase this one thing. They send me a text. It's like, "Oh, is this a good sale, Mom? Should we get this? Or should we get this?" So find out where can you make purchases? Where can you go? One of the things that I'm currently doing is I share a membership to one of those big stores. Let's face it, Costco, right? But I share with a friend. So she pays the membership for 1 year. I pay the membership for the following year. So we're splitting the cost, and we're both able to take advantage in the savings. So who can you share a membership? Costco, I think, has great items. You can buy, your cleaning supplies. You can buy so many different things in bulk. They have a lot of organic fruits that you can get. So who can you might be able to split a membership, whether it's to Costco or any of the other big stores? Who can you split that membership with to help you save money? So food for thought on that. What else can you do? We all have to eat. Can you prepare your menu based on what's on sale? And this is my favorite thing. So I look forward to Tuesdays because Tuesdays is when I get my sale flyers. And I usually look at two or three, determine which store I'm going to go visit, and then I create a menu based on what's on sale. I also make it into a game to never ever pay full price on the things that I use all the time. So your toothpaste, your cleaning supplies, your, whatever it is that you use on a regular basis. What if you make it into a game to never ever pay full price for that? Only shop for those things when they're on sale. So let's take toothpaste, which I just bought, and I was saving $1.50. So what do you do with that $1.50 savings that you have? You put it into an envelope and you give it a purpose. You give it a destination. What are you going to do with that money? I also have a jar where I keep my change. And I put a Post-it in front of the jar. And sometimes I say that once that jar is full, I'm going to take it to the bank, put it into a savings. Sometimes I say I'm going to treat myself to a lunch. The purpose does not really matter. What matters is that you get into the habit of doing it. I am currently doing a dime challenge. You take a 2-liter bottle and you collect nothing but dimes. Now, I've been told that after the bottle is full, you're going to have $500. Somebody else told me $600. I've been carrying this bottle around with me. I went to my mother's, I went to my sister's, and I simply asked them, listen, I'm collecting dimes. What do you have that you can contribute? Which is great, right? Because now they're part of. I've taken it to my workshops, although I haven't been all that successful at that. Nobody's contributed to my dime collection so far. But I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. I'm still going to carry that dime bottle with me. But join the challenge. Make it fun. What could you do? Instead of 2 liters, maybe do 1 liter. What can you do today to start saving, making it fun? Can what about holidays are coming up, folks? So let me cover that real quick. Make a list. And I recently wrote an article on this, Reader's Legacy, although you can find it on my Facebook, you can find it on Twitter. Make a list, and this is going to save you tons and tons of money. Make a list. Make a list of all the people you're going to purchase gifts for. And then assign a dollar amount. How much money are you going to spend for each of those folks? Let's say that you have 10 people and you're going to spend $25 on each. Right away, you're going to know how much money you're going to need in order to purchase gifts for everybody on the list. Great. You have the money, no problem. I'm going to talk to those folks that don't have that money. Cut that list and make it smaller. That does not mean that they're not going to get a gift. Start giving the gift of time. Make a coupon. What if one of my favorite things, and I'm going to give you my list. Um, I am a, I am told, a great cook and a phenomenal baker. Those are not my words. This is what I've been told. So most of my friends have their favorite dish or their favorite cookie or their favorite dessert that they want me to make. So usually they're pretty easy. Like we're having a gathering. Can you bring whatever? So that's fairly easy for me to get that done. For you, and let me talk to those folks that are not bakers and they don't cook. Can you offer to water as a gift? Can you offer to take care of their kids if they have kids and give them 2 or 3 hour break? Can you offer to give them a lift to the airport? I can't tell you how many people truly appreciate me giving them a lift to the airport. Can you water their plants when they're away? Can you dog sit when they're away? Can you go get groceries for an elderly person, your grandma, somebody's elderly person? There's tons of ways for you to give without actually having to purchase something. Can you make cards? Listen, I know, can you make a nice little card? Can you Google how to make a bath scrub and give that to them? It's a lot easier than you think, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. You buy some jars, you put in the ingredients, and it's so easy because you can come up with the recipes. There's so many different ways that you can do a scrub. Find ways that you're giving gifts of time, and it's not costing you a lot of money. You don't want to start the year being negative. You don't want to have, you know, a large balance on your credit card because you went out and you spent a lot of money on gifts. Let this year, the year that you begin without any debt because you went out and shopped for gifts. If you already have the debt now, we can work on that, Go out, sell some items, go out, start driving, make some money on the side and pay that credit card off. What can you do? Put a time frame. Put a time frame. Is it going to be 3 months, 6 months? What is it going to look like? And look for sales. Look for things. I can't I cannot help myself. My other favorite thing to do is to shop at retail stores. I love them. I have two that are really my favorite in Santa Monica, and one of them is in Beverly Hills. I mention that because you're able to go to these stores and get great deals. You're able to get new stuff that's never been opened, right? At a ridiculous cost, right? So you're spending very little money, but you're getting a high end quality item. So, is there some thrift stores that you can go and pick up some things that you can give away? They're brand new, folks. I'm not saying suggesting that you go out and you buy used stuff and you sell it. No, I'm suggesting that you visit some of these high-end resale shops, find what they have it's new, it's been unopened. They also have some great dishes, I got to tell you, especially the ones in Beverly Hills. I don't know why, but that seems to be the place. So you can buy, if you know somebody, like for me, if you gave me a dish, I would appreciate that because I cook and I bake. So I appreciate that. Is there towels? There's so many different new items that you can go out and get. And they're new, but yeah, you're saving lots and lots of money. So, what can you do today to save money, to make money? Write the goal down. I'm going to suggest Think and Grow Rich. It really talks to you about what you can do to set goals and to accomplish goals. Let's say you have a possibility bucket now. One of the things I would recommend getting the book Money by Tony Robbins. Highly, highly recommended because he talks about the different ways you can invest your money. Should you have any further questions, please reach out to me. moneymap101@gmail.com. Follow me on Twitter, Chella Diaz Money. Look me up on Facebook, Chella Diaz. There's so many different ways that you can get in touch with me. My hope for you today is that you're going to take action, whatever that may look like for you. Take action. I would truly love to hear if you did take action, what were your results? Definitely love to hear. I would love to use your story and how you were able to change your financial life with somebody in the future. I thank you. I appreciate you. I look forward to hearing from you. And remember, I believe it does not matter how much money you make. What counts is how much money you keep.